Welcome to EU Masters, the tournament that pits the very best ERL teams against one another. 13 regions will compete, so join the hype and be the first to discover Europe's hottest new talent. Let's get right to it. EU Masters begins with the play-in group stage, where all regions will have at least one team represented, with a total of 16 teams divided into 4 groups. Each team will play against the other teams in their group twice in a best of 1. The top 2 seeds from each group will move on to the play-in knockout stage. Here, the 8 teams will play in a best of 3 against one other team, with the winners qualifying for the main group stage, where 12 teams have already pre-qualified. The group stage is where the teams will compete in a double round robin, with the top 2 teams advancing to the knockout stage. The top teams will play against the second seeded teams from other groups in a best of 3, with the winners moving on to the semi-finals. Here the final 4 teams will play in a best of 3 and fight for their spot in the finals, where it will be a best of 5 to determine the next EU Masters champion. Who will be crowned this season's champion and become the next European superstar? I, for one, can't wait to find out. So mark your calendars, it's going to be a fun one. See you there.
Welcome back to the European Masters. We're getting ready to go into our third and final game here to decide who will be making it into the semi-finals between BTXL and Misfits Premier. 2 very different games. Well, 2 very similar games in the sense that they were fairly one-sided, but different teams finding the wins and slightly different playstyles. Misfits definitely being a lot quicker, a lot more decisive with their victory, while XL in their game played a more controlled style game. Great macro, but they did draw that game out. So moving into game number 3, XL are on the red side. So we'll see what that's going to mean for picks and bans. They were on red side for the game they won, so see if red side's busted, really. I guess that's the question.
Yeah, we'll see if red side's busted. We'll see if Tamkench is useless, but I think that's a good way to swap it up. Go to the red side. It's 100% win rate in this series. And I feel like BTXL on blue side, we're just trying to negate too many things coming out from Misfits' comp rather than sticking to their own gun, sticking to their own playstyle. And I want to see them go back to more comfort, more teamfight oriented picks, more scaling. Take the red side, look for counter picks mid, look for counter picks support on top, and just first rotate the strongest AD you can get, which Misfits did in Varus.
I'm curious to see whether or not we see the Hecarim and the Udyr actually taken away, because Shlatan on this Udyr just looks so comfortable. In 2 games in a row now, he has accrued himself a lead versus Markoon. Now, it was different scenarios due to the lanes, but Shlatan just honestly shutting Markoon down so hard in this game.
Yeah, this is how Shlatan got a level up. He took his Gromp, full cleared back down towards bot side base, took his Krugs, and he uses his lane pryos to make sure he gets vision. So now, top pushing, let's wait for my top laner to collapse. Mid's contested, but the enemy top laner's in base because he got chunked out, so let's deny the second Gromp. And as he takes this to one away, he's getting his way 2 level 6 he just got, Markoon just hit level 5, and then eventually you'll see at around level 10, Shlatan was level 10, and Markoon was level 8. So this all comes down to exponential growth in experience because he denies the camp and you lose it. So eventually it's just such a negative trade for the side of Markoon, but there's not much he can do when he has no solo lane prio and the enemy jungle walks in, so he can't really fight him back when he's getting collapsed on first.
Yeah, and domestically, Markoon has been one of the best performing junglers from the NLC. He's kind of been like Shlatan was in that game to other junglers. He's been all over the map, getting his lanes set up, but also denying jungle camps and snowballing lanes from there. And Shlatan just looks so comfortable on this Udyr. I mean, you hit on it in that game too as well. It's pretty much just been Markoon one-tricking Hecarim for most of this tournament. He's not really opted into that Udyr, even when it's open. Much rather that Hecarim. So maybe that's just because that's what they feel comfortable on, and that's why we're not seeing it banned away. Or, you know, I kind of like to see a bit of a flex into different junglers here. Maybe take away the Udyr and the Hecarim and see what Markoon can do in a different scenario with different junglers open as we go into the Champs Select. Because I think jungle was a problem in that game. I mean, the lanes were a problem, but so was the jungle.
Yeah, jungle was definitely suffering. Shlatan playing really well around his priorities. And I think that if Udyr Hecarim was off the board, you'd see the playstyles of both junglers come through by the champions they pick other than the ones that are Hecarim and Udyr. So, for example, Markoon, if he doesn't play Hecarim Udyr, he's been playing Volibear. Early game, getting him steam ahead, playing for early ganks, early skirmishes. Whereas Shlatan likes to play Nidalee and Kayn, so a lot more power farming, a lot more selfish. So this is why both these junglers prioritize Hecarim for the team fights, for getting your team ahead, and Udyr to get himself ahead and get a bit selfish in the game. So I think even if these champs are banned out, we might see the similar playstyles still come out from these players. And Markoon, I think that if he finds plays on the champions and he finds windows to make things happen while Shlatan's farming, then losing his camps won't hurt too much because his lanes will start winning. But in that game, none of the plays worked out. His lanes were losing the lanes, they were getting pushed in, he got collapsed on first and essentially just falls behind. So I have to see what they do when they mix it up in this final game, match point, and loser will get knocked out.
Yeah, that is it. Your Nexus explodes, and that is your time here at the European Masters done so. Misfits going to ban away that Nocturne once again from Orome and the Wukong. Tristana once again banned from Woolite from BTXL. Let's see what the next ban is going to be. They banned the Fresh and the Jinx typically. And it's going to be the Jinx once again from XL.
I wonder if this Wukong bank signals a first pick Jace from Misfits. They don't want to trade the junglers because they know that the BTXL will always opt into Hecarim first. So maybe they want to change the game up completely, ban away Nocturne, Wukong, first pick the Jace, and just keep what was working for them from last game in the game. Because maybe they think Orome doesn't have an answer. Maybe Orome goes for something like a Sion, Gnar, or a Malphite to match it. But that's my guess from that Wukong bank. We'll have to see how they adapt BTXL, see what their last ban is.
Running out, it's going to be the Fresh once again, so XL kind of keeping their bans. They're happy with what they've got in the ban phase. It's now over to Misfits, like you said. Maybe go for that first pick Jace, maybe blind picking that and kind of saying, come on Orome, let's throw the challenge down. But for now, it looks like Woolite might be looking to deny Deadly the Kai'Sa here. And I feel like XL are going to have to definitely pick up the Hecarim. You do not want to deal with Hecarim Kai'Sa getting rotated here by Misfits.
Now, the Tahm Kench ban confuses me to the point where Tahm Kench has lost both games. It lost with the Senna, it lost with the Ashe. So you can counterpick the Tahm Kench as well. You're giving the enemy team Hecarim Orianna again, which is something that they ran in game one, which worked for them. Looks like they're going to go Hecarim Rell here. Doesn't look like they're going to match AD, and they're not going to pick up the Orianna either. So Misfits can counterpick support here. Maybe Kai'Sa Alistar could be a good option for them, and then pick the Udyr, but then you're not denying the Orianna. So we'll have to see how they adapt. Maybe they even just want to pick the Jace straight out. But they are on blue side, so they're blind picking top no matter what. I think the best option here is just go for the Udyr, go for the Alistar, and get your bottom jungle secured, and go 4-5 with the carries, with the solo lane, sorry.
Yeah, I honestly feel like Orianna is super valuable here for Misfits, because you add Orianna onto what BTXL have already put together. Sure, the AD carry pool will get trimmed out in the ban phase, but that is already a disgusting little combo you got in the team fighting scenarios. And, you know, that could be a real problem in a comfort pick for Hatrixx. So I feel like Orianna is probably a good pickup here, unless they've got something in mind for this for the support. But actually, it's going to be the Gnar pickup here. Kind of throwing the gauntlet down a little bit more here. That's signaling why the Wukong was banned away, but you know, I still feel like Orianna's not a bad pickup for Hatrixx. Yeah,
I think it was an early rotation top with that Wukong Nocturne ban you'd expect. Looks like it's a Gnar, not a Jace. My mistake there. And I think the Rell pick was also to deny the Kai'Sa Rell combo with the engage. So smart pickup by BTXL there. And they're going to match Xayah into Kai'Sa. Not going to opt into the Varus. Self-peeling AD carry here. Looks like they're not going to go for the Orianna. So both teams have an edge here. BTXL can ban away supports, and Misfits can ban away things like the Orianna Victor. But the Kai'Sa Xayah trade has always normally been favored towards the Kai'Sa, because when it comes to the mid game, if Kai'Sa looks at the assassination onto Xayah, she can always ult and trade the ults. We'll have to see how the strat progresses. BTXL actually opting to ban away counter pick mids to what they're going to blind pick on 4. But I would be surprised to see BTXL give Alistar across to Misfits. I think that's just a must ban at this point.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be the next ban. That does leave things like the Nautilus open as well. People do kind of often pair that up with the Kai'Sa. So for now, there's going to be the Orianna ban. That was pretty self-explanatory why you're going to see that one taken away. BTXL, like I said, expecting to see the Alistar as their ban out here. And I'm trying to kind of rack my brain on what Orome might want to take top lane. He could go down that Renekton again. We have seen people picking up like Gangplank as an answer into the Gnar at times as well. And I mean, GP layers quite well into what BTXL have. Obviously, you do lean very heavily into AD that way. is a potential option for them. But there goes that Alistar you were talking about.
I think the best options that Orome has here are things like you said, the GP could be an option. I'm looking at things perhaps like a Jace that Agresivoo played last game. Orome can run that into the Gnar. It's a good matchup. Maybe he wants to look for something like the Camille or the Urgot. These 2-3 champs, I would expect one of these to be picked for Orome. And I think that gives counter pick to Hatrixx, you'd expect. I was actually saying that they could pick mid on 4, but obviously they pick their top laner. So picking your top laner on 4 wouldn't hurt too much. Counter pick mid. There's a lot of mid lane bans right now. And I think that Seraphine is very powerful in mid, especially right now. But maybe I think Akali could be picked up for either of these teams if Hatrixx wanted to deny that from Sertuss and then just pick top on 5 anyway, or just give that across and run the Sylas back.
All right, well, it's time for the final pickup here for XL, as they are, well, not final pickup, but their next pickup, they're going to go for the Camille, something Orome completely carried on versus Creamrail Betis in their final game versus them in week 2. And now over to Misfits Premier, looking to pick themselves up something for the mid lane for Sertuss. So could be pretty aggressive. He had a pretty good game on that Akali already in the last game, so it might just be the pickup here for him.
Yeah, and I think that Hatrixx should not run back the Sylas this game. There's really not that... I mean, I guess you can get the Gnar ultimate, so that's pretty good, and I'm expecting something like a Leona here for Jactroll, perhaps. So you do have that as well. But I think the Sylas into Akali wasn't really favoring him. He was losing lane in the early stage. I think just going for something standardized would be better. But it looks like Jactroll might go for the Rakan. Will be a bit difficult into Xayah Rell. Xayah can dodge away from the ult, and Rell should win the lane phase out into the Rakan, so a bit of a risky pick there, but will help in shutting down the Camille and peeling for your backline, sorry, when you get dove on, and does give you that engage and follow up with the Gnar. I like that.
There it is.
I like that a lot more. Don't go for the Sylas. Just roll something like the Galio, something more standard that works really, really well with the Camille. And now this Kai'Sa is going to get locked in a box with this Camille, Hecarim, Galio, Rell. I feel sorry for Woolite already. This is going to be rough. But if he gets a stopwatch, if he can dive away from it, then he should be fine.
Yeah, I was getting a bit worried because I was like, oh, what is Hatrixx going to take in the mid lane into Sertuss? Galio, fine in that lane. He could just handle that completely fine. You know, most people go for the Predator, but if you're really, really worried about it and really insecure, I guess you can go after Shock. But I'm expecting it to be the Predator here from Hatrixx. But yeah, I think it's fairly self-obvious what XL are doing. It's going back to what they were doing in game number 1. They have a team fighting comp. Once they hit those 6s, they're going to smash their Arkies, and they're going to look to run through the team fights. Over on the side of Misfits Premier, though, what is their game plan? What is this team built to do?
Yeah, this team comp is a lot weaker in team fights, I would say. They have the Gnar, they have the Akali, so it's almost similar to last game in the Jace Akali, where you have a 1-3-1-esque composition. But I think if the Camille's ahead, you should be able to deal with both of the solo laners that Misfits have. The Udyr will win out in the early game. You should have the push with the Akali and with the Gnar in the early game as well. So if Shlatan can play similar to like he did last game, get in their faces, get in their jungle, take away the camps, get Markoon behind, then he should be able to control the game from there. But I feel like BTXL have a lot stronger lanes here, a lot more proactivity, and they need to be really careful, Misfits, in where they push lanes and where they push advantages, because they get double TP'd on, there's a Galio ultimate they have to care about, and the BTXL have a lot of engage, which Misfits actually lack a lot of, barring the Rakan.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a massive step up from XL, but it's not like game 1, where game 1 to me felt like Misfits, like you said, were on a pretty hard timer. And once that timer was hit, the game was basically winnable without like XL making a massive misplay. I mean, they dropped Baron in game number 1. It got stolen away, and they just won the team fight afterwards. It didn't matter. So we're taking to the Rift for game number 3. Misfits Premier taking on XL for the final time of the playoffs. Winner will advance through into the quarterfinals. Loser goes home. And XL is the last representative of the NLC. Do not want to be going home. They want to be going further, proving that the NLC deserves more spots.
Oh boy, here we go. Hatrixx running the Predator on Galio, doesn't have the Aftershock. And this Galio pick, not only does it work really well with the Camille, with the ultimate on the Camille ult, but it really works very well in shutting down what Misfits have. The Rakan, the Akali, the Gnar, all of them jumping forwards. Galio actually does really well to negate the engage on top of the Xayah and your team diving in. So they have a lot of tools to deal with this competition of Misfits, but Misfits definitely slightly favored in the early game. They should have push in top and mid. And we'll see if they can use that to their advantage to shut down Markoon. But Orome is running Ignite TP. And as good as that is for the 1v1, does mean you're very vulnerable to ganks. And if Markoon does start top side and path bot, then he needs to be very careful. But no, Markoon's going to start bot side. Shlatan is as well. Top lane is the aim of the game for both these teams. Bot lane will be farming unless one of the sides makes a mistake. I think Deadly and Advienne should have the push there. But just in general, top lane is where both teams want to focus.
And I want to see Markoon actually focus top lane this time around. It looks like Shlatan, like you said, starting on that bottom side of the map. These junglers be matching each other, and Hatrixx may have to be pulling that teleport in to try and help, because I'm expecting probably a little bit of skirmishing for this early crab, as Hatrixx will walk away with a nice little trade.
Yeah, top crab will be the end of the game for both these teams, but Agresivoo should have the push. Sertuss should have the push as well, but we'll see how it evolves, because maybe Markoon can get there earlier. Maybe he can look for a cheeky gank and try to deny that push. But we'll see how the game progresses. But like we said, BTXL, lots of team fight. If the Misfits fall behind, it's going to be very difficult for Woolite to even find any damage in this game. And Misfits need to get their solo lanes ahead to deny the Camille from being able to get the side lane pressure. So both junglers patting top. We'll see how this game progresses.
Well, junglers matching each other right now on the map as Hatrixx and Sertuss just continue to scrap and brawl up in the mid lane. It's pretty equal there as Markoon now crossing over onto the top side of the map. There's a ward being placed down actually by Hatrixx just to make sure that if Shlatan did look for an invade, they would spot him out or some kind of flank through the jungle. So I actually like that coverage for Markoon, knowing that Shlatan's probably going to want to play pretty aggressive.
Yeah, he definitely will be, and he has 3 pushing lanes at this point. Bot lane's winning, mid lane's winning, top lane's winning to the point where they have the push. And maybe they can find something to shut down Markoon, but Markoon smartly just full clearing here. Doesn't want to look for any early gank like he did earlier on with the Tam Kench, put himself behind and be risk of getting invaded on. As Orome trades aggressively, top does get a really good chunk onto Agresivoo. Orome still having the potion there that he can pop. Maybe Markoon wants to contest topside now. I think it would still be very difficult, but maybe he looks for it.
There's a really nice little ward just outside the tri-brush, which means if Markoon comes out, he's in trouble, but Orome might find himself in trouble as Shlatan moving through. Looks like it's just going to be the crab for him, and Markoon okay to give this one up. He's going bot side.
Advienne just flashed away on 1 HP, got ignited as well. I think he almost got taken down from the side of Misfits, and him losing that flash means that Shlatan can run mid. He might get ganked by Hatrixx. Bot crab will be on the cards as well.
Yeah, they're looking for Hatrixx. Hatrixx has the flash, does have the taunt. He's just trying to buy time as Markoon picks up the crab, and now Hatrixx looking to turn this one around. The bear slap comes in already, and Markoon, now he's the one who's being caught out as he's trying to bolt towards his tower to safety, able to get out of that one. As XL take a bunch of bad trades across the map.
Yeah, but they get away with murder there, kind of. Markoon gets the crab, goes south. The bot lane was moving from Misfits. Shlatan had to flash there to try and force the fight even more, but he doesn't end up falling. So although BTXL lost out in the bot fight, they lost out in the river fight, they actually don't lose anything. They trade Ghost for flash, and yes, Advienne lost a flash in the 2v2, but they get the crab. So Markoon's even with Shlatan here. If Shlatan got that crab, he'd start snowballing, getting himself ahead, and Markoon's got a base advantage over Shlatan. So definitely not more favored in this early game. Hatrixx will need to catch this wave and base himself. And both teams playing slightly aggressive here and there, but also being very careful with what they're doing. You see Advienne flash away, but Woolite didn't want to follow. It's match point. Any mistake could be fatal.
And I think that's been the big thing about this series in general, is little mistakes have been fatal. Game 1, Woolite getting caught out by Advienne and Deadly just snowballed bot lane into a horrible position. Game 2, it was just everything. Everything went wrong for XL, and Misfits able to just accelerate the game to a horrible position, and Markoon kind of trying to go for that dive cost him a lot of experience and gold, and that was kind of where problems started to come from.
Yeah.
So Markoon's maybe looking for something onto Sertuss here. He's trying to get the E off of the charge. Will bop him backwards and the flash comes out. So Sertuss flash down. Hatrixx can be okay with that one. It's going to help Hatrixx just shove this wave out.
Yeah, Hatrixx probably just going to catch this wave base and maybe look to TP back. He has the global when he hits level 6 to go to either side lane. And no first blood just yet. If Markoon had Ghost there, maybe he could have ran past Sertuss and knocked him in and looked for the kill. But doesn't have it. Had to trade it with the flash of Shlatan. Orome still training aggressively on top side, and he has the Ignite TP, so if he can get to level 6, level 7 without actually falling behind or getting ganked, then he's sitting very dandy in this 1v1 with the Ignite, with the Galio ult soon coming up. But no, Sertuss TPing back to mid, Hatrixx saving it. So that means that Hatrixx has the TP and the ultimate, but Advienne has no flash. That could be why Shlatan's visiting the bot side of the map here.
Yeah, Deadly, remember, not level 6 yet, so he can't jump away as Advienne looking to try and find that stun. Jactroll has to be careful because the feathers are getting placed down. Woolite's caught out, and they're going to force the teleport out. XL are bringing members in. Advienne is low. Shlatan going to use the bear slap. He's going to find first blood, but the taunt will lock Shlatan down as Deadly just layering more feathers in, and he secures a kill in response. It's a 1-for-1
Yeah, really good identification there from Hatrixx. Saved the TP, TP'd behind. Advienne stepped too far forwards. I think he could have lived there, but in the end, it's a 1-for-1. Sertuss is here, level 6. Deadly doesn't have heal. They might look for a dive, but Jactroll and Woolite can't tank it. It's going to be on Sertuss to find it. Hatrixx has the CC too, so looks like they're going to have to back off. Oh,
he's going in! Taunt, Woolite connects onto Woolite. That's going to be a max range one, and Deadly finds the kill. Here comes Markoon. Jactroll's trying to run away, but he's going to get run over by the pony. Sertuss slides into the face of Deadly, and Deadly going to get the ult to keep himself alive for a moment, but it's not long enough as Agresivoo slams Hatrixx into the wall. Here comes Advienne. He's looking to turn it around. The taun's not going to quite connect, but this is the charge by Markoon. XL just flip it back around.
This is a massive fight for BTXL. They punish the overextension from Misfits. The double TP comes in, but they can't save the fight. The Gnar into the wall was good, but he missed the follow-up stun. Advienne comes from base. BTXL pick up a few kills, and Hatrixx is the MVP of this whole play. Identifies Woolite, steps too far forwards, punishes him instantly. And we talked about the jungle at the start of this game, but Markoon is the one who's a level up and is ahead of Shlatan. As we watch this again, lots of fighting to break down, but the first key part here is Hatrixx TP's in, and Advienne steps too far forwards to trade the 1-for-1.
Beautiful layering of CC as well here. And like I said, it was just the TP difference. Hatrixx saved his TP, and that meant this fight was ultimately in favor of BTXL. Deadly picking up 2 kills for himself as well.
Yeah, and then Hatrixx stays under the tower because Sertuss is on the way level 6, and he noticed Woolite has no flash, no cleanse, stepping up too far, and there's no wave, so Sertuss can't actually join the fight. Gets the connection. Deadly actually QEs. He knows that Jactroll's going to combo him. Jactroll's forced to flash away. Markoon's here, level 6. And from there, Sertuss does manage to pick up 1. Deadly doesn't have the ult on level 6. The ultimate from Hatrixx doesn't actually do enough, but Agresivoo with the ult into the wall was good, but he misses the W. The stun right there, he just about missed it, and then he's forced to flash away. Does end up dropping. And all that time, Orome's been able to push top. He got a free base, he's 10 CS up, he's a level up. Yes, he didn't get a plate, but he's sitting dandy on this top side. He has the ignite as well. So Agresivoo TPing down, flashing, and not getting anything is really going to hurt him.
It's going to be really problematic for Agresivoo now. The Shlatan is in the area, and I do find it funny that this game we came in with the expectation going, they're going to play around top side. We're going to see action top side, and then it's been bot side. It's all the action's been in the bot lane.
Yeah, Advienne is stepping too far forwards, level 3. The flash goes, jungler's playing bot side. Agresivoo chunking out Orome here.
Yeah, Orome has the minion wave to work with.
No flash,
he's going to look to jump in. He has, remember, like you said, no flash, but multiple people coming in, the charge comes over the wall, and Orome just looked to turn it around. Agresivoo going low, and Orome secures himself the kill. Night burnt, and here comes Hatrixx, here comes Sertuss. Sertuss not going to get taunted up as the Justice Punch is available, and I think XL are okay just finding that 1 kill, but the bot lane action's breaking out. Deadly locks down a couple of members. Woolite and Jactroll are so low, but Deadly doesn't quite have the damage to stick. Oh, action everywhere, K-Drill.
Yeah, BTXL's being aggressive across the whole map. Hatrixx just dropping midwaves, using Predator to get the top play first. Deadly and Advienne just all-in bot and level up. Has the advantage, forces Misfits out. They are going to pick up a Herald after this top play because Orome needs to base. Hatrixx needed to catch midwave. So that's a net positive for them despite losing Agresivoo in the top play. But wow, Deadly picking up those 2 kills, definitely helping them out in this 2v2. Are able to base, and there's action non-stop. But in the end, Agresivoo falls, Misfits are forced out of bot, and Misfits do pick up the Herald.
Got that Cloud Drake as well that's been up for a little while. Neither team's really too concerned about that. It's been Cloud Souls in every game, so I think both of these teams are probably okay for not to have another Cloud Soul in a row. Although this Cloud Drake, you know, early, it's nice. You get a bit more cooldown on your ultimate, especially when you're someone like Hatrixx. Fairly lengthy cooldown onto that Galio, so might be something they want to turn their attention towards.
Yeah, and speaking of Hatrixx, he's been everywhere on this Galio pick. It's so much more impact than the Sylas pick into the Akali. He has to TP up soon, but
Agresivoo, he is just donezo. Markoon gonna get the knockback, and actually, Agresivoo gets out of that. Beautifully played by him to survive. Shlatan's in the area as well, so he can defend if he needs to.
Yeah, level 1 Camille doesn't lock him down long enough. Agresivoo just about gets Gnar and gets out, but Hatrixx is picking on the way. Shlatan has no flash. He has the Galio ult as well, so if Shlatan stays around too long here, he could get dove.
Yeah, look for that hook shot. Orome probably not going to find it, so Shlatan just going to get spotted out by the warders. Orome picks himself his first place up in the top side. Bot lane is getting pushed in pretty heavily while Sertuss is catching the wave on the mid side.
But just smart play from BTXL. They know Deadly's got 2 kills. He was winning out in the fights. I thought they were going to go aggressive there, but let's play topside. Let's get Orome ahead. He's the one who's around 10 to 15 CS up. He's the one who can push and get plates. Agresivoo has no flash from the bot play. So let's get resource up there. And what is that giving him? Well, Agresivoo's a level down. He just hit level 8. Orome is already level 9. So level up already for Orome. And this side lane, the longer the game goes on, the harder it gets for Agresivoo. Orome is just trading under the tower. Here comes Hatrixx.
Here he comes. He's going to land himself the knock up. Orome drops the aggro of the tower, and there's the taunt to follow. And there goes Agresivoo. XL find a kill and a plate as well. Beautiful stuff. As there you are, playing around the top lane.
But what will they lose though? I think Shlatan can herald mid here. I think he's about to use it. Doesn't opt into it. Hatrixx is everywhere on the map. He ults top, clears the wave, TP's mid. He's only 10 CS down after ganking top, TPing bot, TPing top. Oh god, he's been everywhere. So Hatrixx, he's definitely playing very well this game to get his side lanes ahead, help Deadly get ahead. Now he's helping Orome get ahead, who's 30 CS up. So he goes aggressive into mid.
Gets himself taunted, uses the Shroud, but Markoon can just look for him. Not going to be able to find it, however, but Sertuss chunked out heavily. And that was the Hextech alternator burnt, so a little bit of bonus damage. Sometimes can be misleading in these earlier stages.
Look at Hatrixx though, moving down towards the bot side now, just getting some vision, getting a little bit of information. Like you said a little bit earlier on, this Cloud Drake hasn't been touched yet. 12 minutes into the game, no one's picked it up. So if anyone wants to pick it up anytime soon, we're looking at a 27 to 30 minutes Dragon Soul bar if they get all 4 Drakes. Markoon might want to start it up soon. He's towards the bot side with bot crab spawning, but the thing is here is Agresivoo is just paying the price for that TP bot. He TPs in, he flashes, he gets nothing. Then he gets dove 2 times with no flash. And he's really suffering here. 2 plates down, 20 CS down, might be 2 levels down as well as soon.
And
Markoon isn't behind. That's the key thing. Markoon's not behind, similar to game 2.
Yeah, this is a much better turnaround for XL. And I mean, you got a Triforce now finished up onto Orome to the half-bound axe on Agresivoo. Jactroll's trying to do his due diligence, I can say.
You can do it.
I can speak, I promise. It's my first language, apparently. He's going to be able to clear out the vision here. And there is a shove here in the mid wave. They are going to use the Rift Herald, so that's going to be a couple of plates picked up. Although Sertuss going to take a lot of damage from the CC from Hatrixx. A couple of tower shots onto him. Hatrixx will give up a couple of plates to Sertuss in response for that, though.
But what can they get bot side? Look at BTXL pinging onto Woolite. Maybe look for a dive.
Oh, Woolite, you are in for a whole world of hurt, friend. The teleports are coming in, and that's Woolite's ultimate burn as the feathers bring back. There's a little bit of damage, and Sertuss burns his teleport. Nothing gained. Sure, Woolite survives, but that is it. And now Orome feels comfortable to jump into Agresivoo. What the hell is that damage? Here's the Hextech ultimatum. He finds the kill. Bear slapped underneath the tower. Remember, he has no flash, and Shlatan may just be able to run him down. That's a return kill. So much damage from that Phoenix stance.
But look at the advantage Orome has. He's diving Agresivoo 1v1 under the tower with the Ignite. And that Camille matchup's only going to get harder for Agresivoo. He's so far behind in this 1v1. And you can see BTXL, they're making a play bot, looking for the dive, forcing Sertuss to TP bot to respond, and then they just go for the 1v1 on top. Hatrixx was leaning bot for the original dive bot side, and then he was already top for the top play as well. So Hatrixx, it's surprising to me that he's up in CS, despite roaming around the whole map at least 5 or 6 times. Look at the gold. He is down a little bit in gold. That comes from the plates on the mid tower from the Herald. But he's on every single play for his team. I think Hatrixx moving around the map everywhere. Sertuss just been 1 step behind on every map play.
XL definitely kind of turned their thinking brains on, and I think the thing was you know, the difference between this comp and last comp is the last comp was a reactive comp. In the picks and the bans, it was reactively countering, but like didn't really do anything. This comp has an identity, has a clear condition of how to find these picks and how to get yourself ahead, and XL are executing on that right now. Now, a bit like game number 1, the gold lead isn't actually that substantial. It's only 1,000 up, well 800 up if you want to be nitpicky, for XL. So they do have a lead. It isn't that big. And this time around, compared to game number 1, XL haven't actually touched a single dragon. They're looking and they're thinking about it right now, but Shlatan is back on the map and he will look to try and contest this.
Yeah, and they're playing to just get Orome ahead, it feels like. After the bot plays Deadly secured, let's get Orome ahead. And Orome, a player who was at Worlds last year, he's been beating G2 in best of 5s. He got a pentakill in this tournament alone. So just making sure they get Orome ahead. They draft around him this entire game with the Galio, Rell, Hecarim, Camille. It's all about Orome. And him being ahead this far on Agresivoo, 2 levels up, 30 CS up. He's almost taking his tower as well. He's going to be winning out on this 1v1. But Orome has the TP up. So that does mean that BTXL can pick and choose where they want to play. They can play bot side, or Orome will win 1v1, and he can always TP in if he needs to. Hatrixx TP coming up soon means he can cover Orome, or just play top side. Let's keep diving Agresivoo, but Shlatan has been spending a lot of time up here to try and cover it, which means Markoon is a level up He's ahead of Shlatan in this game. Misfits don't really have many options here. Deadly's a level up. Orome's diving Agresivoo again. Here it comes.
Agresivoo locked down underneath the towers. The flash is burnt. Agresivoo is able to survive the onslaught from Orome, but that is painful to deal with. And XL have rotated multiple members into the top side of the map, giving up the bottom lane, which means Woolite is going to get a bit of free time, but XL should just beat them to the punch on the first tower. Blood, you got Triforce.
Yep.
Shlatan will get the Drake in response, so it might be tower for Drake as the answer out here, although this tower's still relatively healthy, and XL's not really in the area to contest, but they are going to pick themselves up a Herald, so net gain definitely in XL's favor right now.
Yeah, they can use this Herald to crack open mid tower, tower for tower trade, neutral for neutral trade. The only problem is Deadly dropped a lot of bot waves, and Hatrixx was the one suffering, because Deadly catches mid wave, Hatrixx can't really farm anything, so they lost a little bit of creeps on bot. But in the end, that Herald should pay its due diligence in getting this mid-tier one. And you can see the power of this Camille to Galio combo. It's something we saw a lot in the last couple of years, popping up a lot, I think around Season 10, at the start of Season 10. But then it dropped off. Item changes came in this year as well. But it's still as strong as it ever was. Just a point-and-click combo, execute, very easy to execute. And it's only going to get worse for Agresivoo, who hasn't even really got an item yet, hasn't got that Stride Breaker. Orome is building towards a second item in the Ravenous Hydra. And Hatrixx is going to go into the side lane eventually. His bot lane will take over mid, and Orome is going to be the pressure point for BTXL. We'll see how Misfits try and crack it open or stop this push, as Markoon might herald bot tower.
I think I'd rather see it mid, because it means they can really open up the vision. You know Orome in the side lane should realistically be able to take a tower. It's got that Tiamat as well, so you can kind of clear through the waves fairly easily. So I think, personally, I'd like to see Markoon put the priority onto the mid lane tower, open that up, get some more aggressive wards, and that also affords Orome some space as well, because you can deep ward and then he can be more aggressive in the lane. And that looks like this is going to be the game plan for XL. I like this.
Yeah, Herald popped in mid, and it looks like they are going to be able to pick up that mid tier 1. BTXL might look for a pick on the Sertuss though. Here we go.
Yeah, they're looking to jump onto him. They are firing all the CC. Orome jumps over the wall. Here comes the charge by Markoon. Sertuss uses the stopwatch to keep himself alive, and now Deadly coming in with the feathers. Woolite jumps in forwards, and Sertuss is just about able to survive. No, Orome's Ignite takes him down. Orome hookshots over the wall, and now Woolite being chased down by XL, but they only find the one, but they're happy with that one.
Yeah, Orome finds Sertuss. Zonia's bought time, but BTXL are all there. They're all ready to start a fight. And Misfits, they can't find anything to stop the engage. Jactroll was around with the flash ult, but he can't find a target. BTXL are so well split up, and you're completely right, Hipbrain, in saying that this BTXL comp is more of a proactive comp than a reactive comp. They're looking for plays. They're looking to make things happen around the map, and that's exactly what they've been doing. They're going to be able to pick up this bot tier 1.
This is the XL style we know from the NLC.
Yeah.
Well, Deadly doing what Deadly does best. You said they built the comp around Orome. Deadly then just takes Xayah, a champion that can play safe and just clear waves. That is all Deadly needs to do, and that is what Deadly does best. He plays alone as an AD carry, and he does that very well. So Gale Force and the Featherstorm means it's pretty hard to catch him, but let's have a little look at this pick onto Sertuss once again. Yeah,
Orome has full vision on him because of the pink. They go in, and Orome, very, very quick reaction here to get the ultimate as he goes over the wall. Deadly does come around the side, and actually I was mistaken. Woolite and Jactroll are just way too far to answer this fight. Woolite does dive in with the killer instinct, but Sertuss dies to the ignites from Orome, and from there Jactroll just wasn't in position to help his team to try and find an engage or find a re-engage. So BTXL first to the play, they pick up a kill. So Dragon was taken by Misfits earlier on though, so that means that even if XL want to start controlling these dragons, it's going to be around 35-40 minutes before we see a soul from them. So they're playing towards the top side now. Baron's up. They have a lot of damage for this Nash, and they have a lot of turn potential as well. So if they want to try to start it and look for a fight, they can always do that. As Orome is building towards the second item, Deadly basing here. He might pick up the Essence Reaver. 2 items being completed for XL here, whereas Misfits still have their components for the second one. They haven't built towards it just yet.
And on the flip side of the Baron, it's actually quite a scary Baron for Misfits to do, because they get in that pit and suddenly Hecarim, Galio slide in. You're inside that pit taking so much damage. It's really rough to actually do the Baron if you're Misfits right now. So they have to be very, very aware of that, and it's going to be really down to kind of the vision control from them. At the moment, Misfits have done a fantastic job of getting control of the Baron area. XL will not be able to sneak this Baron away. There's too much vision. There's too many things for them to kind of play and fall back to safe zones. So vision control definitely in favor of Misfits, although Orome is just going to force Jactroll to flash from the hook shot.
Jactroll knows the second that ultimate lands from Orome, Hatrixx is coming in, and he's probably going to fall. No way out there. But Hatrixx needs to be careful here. Shlatan's kind of snuck his way behind him, but Orome's around. Looks like they're going for Agresivoo. Shlatan's just basing.
Yeah, Predator's on, the Stride Breaker's used, but the hook shot will follow, and that is going to be one dead teddy bear. Agresivoo goes down for the 5th time this game. And now Shlatan has to be careful. Deadly not able to find the CC, but the Ghost is on him. He has no flash. Like you said, that's going to be the end of Shlatan, although he does get himself the bear stance off. Markoon secures the kill, and Orome's coming on the flank, actually. Gets himself caught out, or has he? Here's the Galio. Here's the team fight. The taunt's going to land on the 2. The rest of XL are coming in. The Magistor's been thrown down. Deadly just free firing off. Orome gets 1. That's another one for Markoon, and Sertuss, the only member of Misfits standing.
BTXL turning towards the Baron. Orome and Hatrixx are everywhere on the map. Their diving bot, Agresivoo, dies again for the 5th time. Shlatan, I don't know what he was doing running around there. Markoon punishes him. And it feels like Misfits were just walking into the waiting arms of BTXL. They run mid, they get another 2 kills. And that's a Baron, so BTXL, in this match point game, their draft is so powerful to the way they want to play the game, and they're executing phenomenally off the back of Orome, a Worlds appearance he had last year on Mad Lions, taking G2 down in spring of 2020, is now here in the EU Masters, leading his team to victory.
Let's just have a look at this fight once again. I mean, this started with the pick onto Agresivoo, and then just a really quick turnaround into the mid lane.
Yeah, Hatrixx and Orome kind of holding hands here, playing together. They have the global ultimate, but there's no top wave to play on, so Orome can just afford to roam around the map. They pick up Agresivoo. Then you have to question Shlatan's decision making here. Is he looking for some kind of flank mid with Jactroll to look for an engage? But he has no flash, so Markoon really quick on the engage, punishes him. And then Misfits kind of walking forwards to try and think that, guys, can we help Shlatan? Before they know it, Orome's behind them. Hatrixx still has the ultimate. And from there, Hatrixx with a double taunt, they managed to pick up another 2 kills.
Just so much CC on the side of XL as well, and it just makes it's AoE CC as well, so it just makes it so hard if you're Kai'Sa and you're flash and cleanseless. Sure, you have the killer instinct as a slight dash, but really, really rough. Now XL with this Baron playing a lot more proactively with their lead than they did in game number 1, and the gold lead has slung massively in favor of XL. So they're able to take down 2 more turrets. The Dragon is up, and to be honest, this game has not been very Dragon focused by either team.
No, not at all. It's all about the globals. It's all about the engage. It's all about diving. That's what BTXL's comp's all about. And Misfits are the ones trying to cover it. So they didn't have much time to focus on the Drakes. And now BTXL with this Baron can push their advantage way faster than they could before. They have so much engage. They have so many tools to find fights. And they're cracking open the tier 2s for now. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to siege on the inhibitors just yet. But the key thing here for Misfits is their wave clear is a lot poorer than it was in game 1. In game 1, they had a Victor who could just kind of sit under the inhibitor towers and just clear the wave in their face despite the Baron buff. But this time around, they have an Akali. So Akali Kai'Sa, not the best wave clear. Very short range champions. If they walk up, BTXL can pull the trigger. They are going to take away this Drake. They won't be able to get a soul till around almost 40 minutes. But not a bad pickup, and they're going to drop top wave after pushing it into tier 3, play mid to bot, and Orome and Hatrixx still holding hands here. If anyone walks up too close, they're going to pull the trigger and just engage on them.
And Deadly almost playing a little bit of bait here as Advienne is waiting off in the wings. Deadly just shoving the waves in the mid side, and Sertuss has to go answer that. While Orome with the Titanic Hydra and the Triforce makes short work of waves and towers. I mean, that tower is melting thanks to him and the Baron buff.
Orome will be the pressure here for the Baron, and Hatrixx, although he's quite far behind Sertuss, same level, down 40 CS, he's been almost involved in every play, or at least been around for the plays. So hidden MVP for me here, getting Deadly and Orome ahead as Orome.
Ooh, that does a bit of damage, although Agresivoo about to Gnar out, and Orome, no hook shot up. So he did use that aggressively, but that's now the Gnar down. So it does buy a little bit of space for XLs. Looks like they're just going to base off and spend their gold off the back of this. You can see 3 items onto Deadly. He's got the Essence Reaver, just buys himself an extra crit cloak, just to up his crit damage a little bit more. Well, the amount he crits. But 2 items onto Hatrixx.
Yeah, 3.5 items for Deadly almost now, so he's just as strong, if not stronger than Orome at this point, who's the main diver, who's the main threat for a BTXL. BTXL have so many threats here. Baron up in 3 minutes. And Misfits' only real engage is Jactroll, who had no flash, but Shlatan, Markoon's found him.
Yeah, the bear stance is probably enough to dissuade for the moment. I say that, Orome thinking about sliding in. Not going to find it, and that is going to be them sending them away. And I kind of just want to go back to, we were talking at the beginning of this series about, you know, Woolite is the carry. He is the damage dealer for Misfits Premier, but 2 games now, he has had a very, very rough time. And we looked at the stats, and Deadly was significantly behind him. Sure, Deadly's damage share probably isn't that high compared to the likes of Orome, Hatrixx, and Markoon right now, but that's fine. Deadly's kind of done his role in this game, and he's been able to make sure that Woolite isn't going to be a problem.
Yeah, definitely proved us wrong at the start of this series, as we thought that Woolite would be the main carry for Misfits, the main point of resources for them as well. But Deadly and Advienne winning out on the 2v2, getting a 2v2 kill, I believe it was in game 1, and just snowballing the game from that point onwards. And this time around, they had a losing matchup in the sense where they were being pushed in. They didn't manage to find too much punishments, but their team collapsed. Deadly picked up 2 kills on the TP fights, and from that point onwards, Deadly was able to scale on the Xayah. Woolite didn't really find too many kills or resources for himself, and so Deadly is just almost 3.5 items here, a lot stronger than Woolite is. But even then, Deadly's still free hitting. He has so many ults.
Yeah.
And Orome does have that Camille 5, 1 and 2 with the Galio ult. It's gonna be very powerful.
I love that we set the expectation that Orome was going to get a lot of attention this series, and it was only game number 3 when they decided, let's camp Orome, and now Orome's 5, 1 and 2. Turns out camping Orome is the way to win if you're XL, and just making sure Deadly doesn't get too far behind. But it was really a Markoon and Hatrixx diff this game. The jungle mid was all over the map, constantly causing pressure for Misfits, and Misfits are really struggling right now. They're severely behind in CS, in gold right now. The question is what do Misfits need to do? How do they get themselves back into this game?
Well, it's going to be a tough task because Baron's in 40 seconds, so they're going to need to group up, try and push out mid and look to contest some kind of vision from BTXL. We saw this story before in game 1. BTXL have full vision control, and they're ready to punish Misfits if they walk up and they want to start up this Baron. But Misfits need to make sure they're together, make sure they're not split up when BTXL find this hard engage with all these champions, and make sure they can at least match them with the numbers to try and contest for vision.
Well, for now, it's XL who do have the lanes working in their favor. No one's really dealing with bot side. That has kind of been left alone, isolated. But Woolite getting jumped on too. Markoon not going to continue the chase too much more. Jactroll is on the flank with the quickness ready to fire. But that is a level 9 Rakan. He will get cut down so fast. 3 levels behind Advienne. 6 levels behind Deadly. He will just be cut down if he jumps in.
Yeah, definitely. And BTXL, Baron's up. Misfits, like we said, they need to make sure they have numbers matching. Markoon is always fishing for the engage. BTXL have so much hard engage. They can afford to just walk into Misfits' face, and if they don't have the numbers to match, they're going to pull the trigger. But now, Misfits out of position because they look for vision. BTXL run it down mid to make sure the wave crashes, and now they can look to start the Baron perhaps. They had off a lot of turn, and they have a lot of damage for it.
It's going to be a very quick Baron if they're allowed to do it, and it's been started up already. The health bar's going down very quickly. Misfits Premier are starting to pull the trigger, though. They've been spotted out on the wards, and Advienne on the flank, looking just to zone Shlatan out. Hatrixx also coming in with a taunt, and that is just going to be Baron secured. There is no way Shlatan can get close. The second Baron of the game being picked up by BTXL. Dragon's about to spawn up as well, and XL can just bolt towards that side of the map, and there's just really no answer that they can throw out as Orome's jumping in as Sertuss. Sertuss is going to use the stopwatch, but there's a taunt available, and he's able to flash the wall to get away. Little bit too over-eager there by Hatrixx to pull the taunt. So it does mean Sertuss gets away with his life.
He loses his flash though, so BTXL should have those ultimates coming up soon. They can just pick up the Drake for free, base, get some more item spikes, and then come back on the map and push their advantage into tier 3s with this second Baron buff. And BTXL only gonna get stronger. Deadly hasn't even hit his spike yet. When he gets Infinity Edge, he'll be even stronger. And Orome just picked up a Sterex. When he gets the GA, he will be even tankier. So BTXL, they're not at their strongest point even yet. So with this Baron, looks like Deadly is gonna clear out the whole jungle. I wonder if he's doing that because he has the Infinity Edge in base and he wants to make sure he can finish that item before the next fight. 334 CS at 30 minutes.
There it is.
And there it is. You love to see it.
2 levels over Woolite. Hatrixx is down versus Sertuss, but again, kind of expected because he was roaming a lot, so he did give up on the old CS department.
And I think if I'm Misfits, my eyes here on Agresivoo and Jactroll. If they can find some kind of flank, some kind of engage, then maybe they can dissuade BTXL. Maybe if they can make a pick as well, that could help them out before fight starts. They need to make sure they find some kind of flank, get onto Deadly and get him down before he can react and peel for himself, and then BTXL can collapse.
You can see 4 members thinking about jumping onto Orome, but now with the fact that the waves are crashing in on the mid side from Deadly, it just becomes that much harder to handle. Teleport's getting thrown out by Hatrixx. He's looking to join up as he did deal with the top side a little bit. Deadly able to cut through the waves nice and quickly, thanks to being a Xayah. And these towers being sieged on 2 fronts right now. Bottom mid, slowly but surely getting chipped away by BTXL and Misfits. You feel like they just have to do something, otherwise they're just going to bleed out.
Look at Jactroll though, he is behind. This is what we want to see. Here he goes.
He jumps in, looking for the opportunity. The Maggie Storm's being thrown down. Deadly uses the ulti, pulls back the feathers. That was disgusting. XL are just walking through Misfits Premier. 3 members have already fallen, and Advienne's going to make sure there's a 4th as well. With the help of Markoon, they take down 4 members of Misfits Premier. They're going to take down the 2nd inhibitor as well. They've got the Baron, they've got the wave. The teleport was interrupted by Advienne, and XL have done it. They have knocked the LFL's 2nd seed out of the tournament. Bye-bye, Misfits. XL, you're into the quarters.
Such a clean series from XL. Game 2, obviously they dropped the ball. They fell so far behind. The comp they had was hard to come back with, but this time around, clear plan, clear calls, diving in, getting the execution on in fights. And Misfits, Jactroll found the flank. We talked about it almost a minute before the play actually happened. They need to find a flank. They need to pop Deadly before the fight starts. He lived on just about 10%, pulled back all the feathers, and that sealed the deal for the fight. So XL, fantastic series overall, good adaptations. And now, with XL winning, we're going to have 1 representative from each region. You've got France, you've got Spain, you've got the NLC, and they're all just kind of representing each other. You've got Spain, too, in this semifinals.
Honestly, it's going to make for a very, very fun semi-finals. And obviously, XL will be taking on the winner of our next series, which is Mouse versus Big. That's going to be a very, very spicy one. But before that, it is time for us to have a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.
I was driving late to feel the current running from your lane. I got no brakes, so keep the voltage flowing in my veins, my veins. Ooh, and I'm falling through flickering lights. I'm falling through flickering lights, yeah. Good things always happen after. We hide in summer, come alive at night. We stole the colors down on Ocean Drive. If you want it, then we'll take it sweet louder, louder, see it louder. If you want it, then we'll take it and repeat it louder. 'Cause time's on our side. My heart's electric. I feel the magnets pulling me your way, your way. I need the static when we touch the time goes slowly, slowly. Whoa, and I'm falling through flickering lights. I'm falling through flickering lights, yeah. Good things always happen after. We hide in summer, come alive at night. We stole the colors down on Ocean Drive. We hide in summer, come alive at night. We stole the colors down on Ocean Drive. If you want it, then we'll take it sweet louder, louder,
All or nothing.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the European Masters. We're just going to break down the series between Misfits and XL. As game number 1, definitely a very one-sided game by XL, but it was fairly lengthy. Game 2, Misfits kind of just won through the jungle, and then game 3, it was basically just an improved version of game 1 from XL.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think XL's adaptation in Game 3 was just great. Hatrixx was like the hidden MVP for me in this game. He was pretty much everywhere on every play, got Deadly ahead, got Orome ahead, kept Markoon in the game and stopped a lot of invades. So Hatrixx with the global, with the TP, was able to find fights. And even when he was in these fights, like here, trying to defend the play, he finds an engage on his own and gets Deadly even more resources, which this bot play was what kind of snowballed BTXL in this early game towards the mid game.
Yeah, it did feel like a lot of the games where XL won was they set Deadly up and then just kind of left him to carry from there, and he was fine to do so. And this game, it was set Deadly up and then play around Orome, and Orome had a fantastic game on the Camille.
Yeah, and I think Agresivoo TPing down there, flashing and not getting anything was so difficult for him to deal with Orome afterwards when Orome wasn't TPing bot. He was kind of pushing out top, and then from that one onwards, mid to late game, Orome and Hatrixx finding the engages, finding the fights, looking for fights, picks, whatever it is, they found it. And from there, they got Baron off display, and they kind of snowballed into infinity. Really well played from almost everyone on the side of XL in this whole series.
I mean, no one on the side of Misfits Premier got into double digits there on the damage damage charts. I honestly, I've actually forgotten how to speak. I'm so excited. XL won. But you know, good damage coming in from Orome. Just overall, you can see the gold difference. Again, it was a bit similar to game number 1, where it's fairly mellow for about 10 minutes, and then it just drops off a cliff. And last time it was post 20 minutes where XL kind of accelerated the gold lead. This time, it was just as that 20-minute mark hit, they put their foot down and they just took over the game.
Yeah, and you can see the game plan was clear. They dropped Drakes, they played for gold, they played for bot, they played for top, and Hatrixx was basically everywhere, hovering bot, hovering top, and the gold drops are from the Barons when they get one single team fight, XL turn and burn the Nash, and from that point onwards, Misfits, the only real engage they had was Jactroll, and I think he lost his flash at around 50 minutes, so from that point onwards, they could never really step up and contest anything. XL were the ones holding all the cards and choosing all the fights.
Well, let's have a quick look at the bracket and see how everything is now falling here in the European Masters. So, UCAM and KC obviously be playing up versus each other in the semi-finals, but after the 2-1 victory here by BTXL, they advance through into the semi-finals, and they'll be playing versus either Big or Mouse. So one of the Dark representatives will be going toe-to-toe with BTXL, and that is our next game. It's going to be Big versus Mouse. Kjo, I'd like to quickly get your thoughts on this game and what you think is going to be going on there.
Well, it's Dak versus Dak, and I think that both these teams are very powerful. And I mean, I'm slightly biased because I'm friends with most of the players on Mouse, so I'll be secretly hoping for them, but I'm not casting it, so we'll hope and see how it goes. But winner faces BTXL, and we're not going to have a friends versus friends final. Misfits are knocked out. BTXL make it to the semis. I'm excited to see how this tournament goes on.
It's going to be a really, really good series, and you don't want to miss it. Now, me and Kjo will be taking a step back and be handing over to two handsome beefcakes in Orcs Scoundrel for the next series of the day. So we'll see you later.
See you guys.